My guest tonight is a stand-up comedian who is also the voice of Bullwinkle from Rocky and Bullwinkle. Yeah, you know the character. He's been a regular on The Tonight Show with Jay Leno, Howard Stern, and that's just scratching the surface. Basile certainly has had a remarkable career, but one thing's for sure, he certainly knows how to control a crowd.
Anyone ever homeschooled? Homeschool! No! How about shut the up? And I mean that in the biblical sense when I say this. Okay, was a homeschooler back there? Is there a homeschooler? I'm like, you sit over there with her, I swear to God.
There's something about that just tickles my fancy. Basile, welcome to McKnight Tonight.
I appreciate that. I was looking at my hair and I'm like, I have more mousse in my hair than Bullwinkle does, for God's sakes. And yeah, I was trying to shake it out. My hair just said, no, I want to stay just like that. It's kind of funny whenever I work the crowd. And my show is not your typical, I'm going to give you my stand up. You're going to sit there and listen. My show is more of an interactive show. So I lead the way that my audience allows me to. It doesn't matter, Rob, if I do it in English, if I do it in Greek, whatever the case may be. And I'm very, very fortunate to be bilingual to do that. And as a matter of fact, to be quite honest with you, that's the way I began watching and doing the voice of Bullwinkle, even as a child, although it wasn't what I would consider a technical Bullwinkle. I actually wound up doing it in a way where I can only speak Greek when I was a kid, but I just loved the way that voice sounded. So I would sit there and actually do a Bullwinkle the best I could as a child, and just actually talking like that in Greek. I go, and my mom's going, that's it. This is bullshit. We're not going to go on this way. So I learned to do that. And then I was the voice of James Brown calling in from prison during the OJ trials. So I had the opportunity to do very, very, quite a few voices, and it did well for my career, and I'm very, very proud of the stuff that I did. However, having a man who was 6'2", 235-pound Greek guy to do the voice of James Brown calling in from prison, that was a unique situation, to say the least, to be able to do that.
Well, that's the point. You've done a lot of comedy and worked on a lot of shows, and it's obvious from that short clip that you're very comfortable on stage. But you talked about being bilingual. Yes. How is it different delivering a joke in Greek and in English? Is there a difference? Is the timing different, or is it just universal?
The timing's timing. Doesn't really matter. You got to take the pulse of the audience, right? So it doesn't really matter that aspect. So it doesn't matter if I'm in Australia. It doesn't matter if I'm throughout Europe. It doesn't matter. And wherever I'm at, may it be in English or may it be in Greek, your timing's your timing, right? The problem is sometimes, because even though my first language is Greek, I still have that issue of sometimes mispronouncing various words. And it's okay, because I'm out of practice of speaking it all the time, living in America. However, as long as the audience can understand it, as long as they get into it, to me, it doesn't really matter, man. The material is different, but the character is always going to be the same. And to me, that's the beautiful part, is I maintain the same character.
Well, I showed at the top, you are known for your quick wit when dealing with hecklers, but have you ever had a moment where the heckler actually won?
And so, yeah, of course. Do you think I'm going to sit there and go, oh no, oh my God, I am a god amongst mere mortals? Yeah, of course. But the thing is, that's when you know that you have to take a step back and go, one for you. You got me. And
as long as the audience is laughing, right?
Absolutely. But you have to sit there and let the audience go, that Basile was pretty cool letting that guy have one. And I'll sit there. I said, all right. And next time, then I'll go back to him. Okay, wise ass, what do you got for me this time? So I make him and or her part of the show, that they are an integral part of that individual show. So yeah, of course, you're going to have people who are going to have a better line than me. I wish I could tell you that all the great lines were invented by me, but I think we all know that would be caca. All right. So,
I mentioned that you have also been the voiceover for Bullwinkle J. Moose, of course.
yes.
You've been doing that for a couple of decades now. What is it
Just
like?
about, just about. Bill Scott was the original voice
I
of
know that. Yep.
Bullwinkle. Yeah. So my job, as a matter of fact, one of the radio stations that I worked for in Cleveland, Ohio, WMMS, which at one time was the radio station in the U.S. And to me, it was always great to be able to work for them because they would always keep you on basically on key to actually go ahead and sit there and go, hey, you know what? We need you to do this voice and that voice and this voice.
Mm.
So one day, when Buena Vista owned the rights to Bullwinkle, they were looking to go ahead and revamp the original Bullwinkle loops that were made. And sometimes you go, hey, Rock, watch me pull a rabbit out of my hat. Whatever the case was, the audio was sometimes not dubbed because a lot of people don't know that there's a relationship between Rocky and Bullwinkle, Australia, and also Mexico City. To avoid the union costs, and there was a couple of other things that were involved, legal things that I didn't know about, they did a lot of the animation and audio tracks either here in Australia or in Mexico City.
Really?
So sometimes the actual loops that were made where there'd be a blank, like a skip missing, there'll be something like, hey, Rocket, for sure, and my job was to go ahead because I had the ability, I guess, to kind of fit in there because for some odd reason, sometimes Bullwinkle would talk real quick like this. Oh, he'd be much more methodical like when he would talk. So I had the cadence down. So for me, it was kind of easy to be able to do. So I was very, very fortunate. And so whatever they needed me to do, I did. And then I'll do stuff for the actual theme parks, Universal theme parks, which now own the rights to it.
Right. But you did, correct me if I'm wrong here, but I think you even got to do a commercial with the original voice actor of Rocky.
June Foray. June Foray.
That must have been
absolutely.
a real treat.
Oh, it was. And it was kind of funny. I did these, they were for a fast food company called Taco Bell. And I want to thank all the people that I was working with at WMMS and the other various organizations within. And now I have a printer going off right next to me. Isn't it amazing? When you do these things live. So
I can't hear it. You're okay.
Okay, good. As long as you can't hear, I am happy as hell. So what I would do is I was in awe of this woman who was perhaps the greatest female voice of character work that ever. And she was about 5 foot nothing, weighed maybe less than 3 digits. She was probably like 98 pounds, a beautiful woman, June Foray. And I was sitting there and I needed to go and I had to, and I can't remember the line for hell, I can't remember the line, but it was like, you get burritos, tacos, and you get, and I kept flubbing up this line. And I flubbed it like 3 lines. And this beautiful woman goes into the Rocky mode. She goes, okay, Smoke, Bullwinkle, I hope we can get these damn lines right so we can get the F out of here, for God's sakes, and go drinking. and I looked at her and said, well, screw you. Except I didn't use the word screw. I said, screw you, you little squirrel. Let me tell you what I'm going to, And we were going back and forth. Now, I am
so I'm assuming she actually used the F word.
Oh, no, yo. So anyway, so we're going back and forth, and it lasted for about 90 seconds. And the director, the engineers in my studio, the engineers in her studio, the actual creative people from Taco Bell were dying laughing because, of course, some of the best stuff, but we couldn't use it. But the funny part was that it was actually involved in going back and forth with her. And I remember this guy looking at me, and he throws me, at that time, we were using digital tape. It was referred to as DAT. And he throws me the DAT tape. He goes, here, kid, you'll never get that again. And he gave it to me, and I still have it. And I never, ever, ever put it on my computer. I never, ever sent it out to anyone. The only time they can hear is they have to come to my office in my studio and to listen to it, because I would never want anyone to hear June Foray use various colorful expletives.
Yeah, but you know what? Actors and voiceover people, let's be honest, I've worked in TV for over 30 years.
Right.
And The swearing that goes on behind the scenes, it is nothing. And we start to revere these people. And someone like June Foray, you come in and you think, oh, how lovely, and she's older by this time. But of course she's worked in the business with some of the tough men. She's a broad who's had to look out, stand up to these guys. Of course she's dropping F-bombs.
Of course she is. And the thing is, though, I didn't want to say, where did you get that from? Oh, Basile, that son of a You're going to report him to the union, and then you're going to see what's going to happen. Yeah, I just kept it to myself. I'm one of those guys who can literally keep a great secret. And, because God knows I've seen people do bizarre things, and I maintain some decency, and I just won't do that. That's just the way I roll. But she was wonderful. And she, commented because she also knew that I did a lot of Japanese and did a lot of Japanese anime, as well as various characters, as a lot of incidental characters, because I'd be running all over the country, all over the world, touring, and I would sit there and they go, "Hey, Basile, we have a list of all these characters. Can you do them?" And I go, "Sure." And I would be starting to run out of names to use because I didn't want to say done by Basile, done by Basile. So my daughter's got credits. Everyone gets a
So you've got a lot of uncredited work.
Yeah, I do. And it's kind of funny because I felt like Oprah Winfrey giving away cars. You get a car and you get a credit.
You get a credit. You get a credit.
So I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay. So I've been very, very blessed to be able to do that. But I've done some great voices, and sometimes you forget. You do so many incidentals that you wind up forgetting. So I love doing that, and now we're working on a project that I developed that we had an opportunity to do about 6 years ago. Then this thing called COVID got in the way, and
it hurt everyone. COVID. From a working point of view,
it killed us all. Right, it killed us all. It didn't really matter. However, the material I came up with was hysterical. I mean, some of the things that my wife told me, and she was just like, "Listen, you got to be able to do certain things around the house." And she wanted me to wash dishes, and I said, "You're out of your mind. Do you know who I am?" Do you know who I think I am? Do you know who I am? And at first I was going to say, no, I'm only asking because sometimes I forget. So I said, do you know who I am? I said, listen, for God's sakes, I don't see myself washing dishes. I don't see myself scrubbing no damn pots and pans. I do not see myself doing that. Rob, the next day she puts a mirror in front of the sink. And I'm like, oh, I see myself. Oh, yeah, hell yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you very much, honey. I can't wait to do more of these. Okay. So
she sounds like my wife, Amanda, who's over there switching the show. They don't let you get away with anything.
Oh, hell no. I tried. Told me rules that change. He goes, you got to spray when you're done using the bathroom. I said, are you now it smells like I cracked a Christmas tree. And I said, I am not going to be able to do this case anymore. I lost my mind. And some of the material that I did from that, I will use on my show. It doesn't matter if you're Greek or not Greek, because we all have that one common denominator, right? And that's we all went through that same hell. And it's probably one of the most toughest things in the world to do. The one thing I did do, though, is I sharpened my skills, and we created a television show, and we start production. We're in pre-production right now. So not only have I been involved in touring, we've toured to do my show in Greek, my show in English, two different types of shows. Because I went to law school, I have a corporate type of a background. I do corporate shows as well. For those who are in the corporate white collar world, it's a completely different show, but I still do the one thing that I maintain across the board is that I typically will always use the ability to improvise. And, and that's the one blessing that I've had. And I was so blessed to be able to do that. But yeah, we did something that's unique that has never been done in a situation comedy. I would love to go into it with you, but I'll tell you one thing, I can't. Again, we are very secretive about this until it comes out. And we did something that's kind of never been done. And the networks are all like, we're kind of biting to have this show, but I would lose, and you know the industry, I would
Yep.
lose all rights to it. I'd have to give up a lot, and I wasn't willing to. And we found private investors to go ahead so we can go ahead and stream this around the world and do it ourselves. And it
Fantastic.
was not easy raising the millions of dollars that we have put together. And it was kind of funny because, I do have a little bit of a legal background, and my attorney was like, what do you want to call this? And what do we need? Because we need different accounts for this. And he goes, you've been one of the first entertainers that really has taken the reins of controlling this show. Listen, no one's going to give a crap about you except for you.
Yeah.
And I tell this to anyone who is listening right now. You want to do something? Do it. Don't depend on someone else to get off their ass to help you. You got to be able to do it yourself. No one knows more than you because of your show that you do. You and your lovely wife are producing your show, taking it all over the world. And let me tell you, it's a beautiful thing to be able to do. And for all the people who are watching right now and want more advice to get off your ass and do it yourself, check me out. Go to Basile the Comedian. That's Basile the Comedian on Instagram, Facebook. Follow, join. I answer every question that I wind up getting. Believe it or not, I do not have someone do it myself. I will stay up sometimes till 2 o'clock in the morning answering with a heart, with something. I said,
I
hey,
love your
we need to do
enthusiasm.
this.
I love it. Now we've got this website address here, basillive.com, because you are touring Australia at the moment, not for much longer. Let's go through your tour dates.
Absolutely.
Because on Thursday you're at the Breakers Country Club in Wamberal.
Where I'm going to be, we had to move that. So the 23rd, we're not at Breakers Country Club. We are doing, because I want to do something special. So the special show that we're doing, we're going to Oakley, and that's in Melbourne. Okay. We are going to Oakley in Melbourne. Okay. At the Apollo Club. It's the Apollo Room. Yes. Right above this place called the Cafe Greco, which has been oh my God, this huge room that's been around for years. And we're going to be doing that on the 23rd. And we're going to add a pinch of basil there. And you got to go to the Apollo Room in Oakley. And listen, there's 10 Greeks for every Greek. You got to go. It's Greek Central. I mean, that's a crap load of Greeks. I mean, I'm not really good at math, but I'm telling you. Yeah.
Quickly take us through. Where else are you then?
Okay, so right there we go to the Greek Club in Brisbane, Vegas.
Okay, that's right, what we've got. So we'll look. So we know the first one is a mistake.
Correct.
But then you've got the Greek Club.
Correct. And then we're going to go to a Greek Club in Brisbane. On Saturday, we're going to Club Veneto in Bulleen. I love to say that. Bulleen. It sounds like I have a boo-boo on my ass. Bulleen. So I have, I'm going to be there on the 25th. And then I'm going to be at the Hotel Arkaba, which is in Adelaide. And listen, folks, for those who have seen the Growing Up Greek in America show, you know what I do. You know the things I do. It's a completely different revamped type of a show that we've done, which is about 20% Greek. And even those who are not Greek can come. I even have James Liotta, who's a very funny cat, whom I love to death, has been doing a great job as a support act for me. Love him to death. And then I want to thank all the people that have been involved with the shows that we have done throughout, BM Entertainment. And if you guys want, you can always go and check out bmentertainment.com.au, where you can get some tickets directly from the links as well. But we'll see you basically at Oakley on the 23rd. And then on the 24th, we're going to see you over at Brisbane at the club, at the Greek Club in Brisbane, the Veneto Club in Bulleen. And then we're going to be at the Arkaba on the 26th. And then I got to take off, man. I got to go back. And as soon as I get off in the plane in LA, I have meetings. And then from the meetings, just relax while I'm talking. Don't you worry about a damn thing, Rob. Just take a load off. You have busted your ass during this whole show of mine. How do you do it? My God, know why your wife is sitting there going, I'm doing all the damn work. He doesn't do a damn thing. He truly doesn't. So I want to see you all there. Check us out, basillive.com, or go to Basile the Comedian on Instagram and on Facebook. I love you all. And Rob, thanks for having me, bro. This has been great.
Mate, it's been an absolute pleasure. I have spent the whole time laughing. You are a legend. Those shows
Thank you,
will
my
be
brother.
great. And you knew your tour dates. And I'll tell you what, I'm sure I've got an email in here from Lionel giving me the updated list that I've missed. So it'll be my fault, not his.
No, let me tell you something about Lionel. Lionel actually used to represent dinosaurs. I don't know if you knew that or not. The man, oh my God, some of the things that he did with the dinosaurs. I got you an interview with the cavemen from Booga Booga, and I'm just
You know, it's a very in joke for us, but it's made me laugh.
Thank you so much for having me, Rob. It's been a pleasure, my brother, and for your lovely wife handling the rest of the technical stuff. I know he doesn't do a damn thing, sweetheart. Don't you worry about it. I know he just sits there drinking his coffee while the guests are actually doing all the work on the
Coffee, you reckon? Everyone here knows.
I'm sorry. What was I thinking? Yeah.
Basil, thank you so much for joining us on McKnight tonight. It's been an absolute pleasure.
God bless, my brother. We'll talk soon.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Fun, insightful interviews from a washed-up producer with nothing to lose.